Okay, so this is the process which carried out at the dairy industry. The bottling plant, where the raw milk which received from the farmer. So collection and reception and test for the raw milk quality. Next, pre-pasteurization. Next, storage of milk into tank. Next, standardization. Next, pasteurization at 73 degrees Celsius for the killing of bacteria. Next, homogenization. Next, storage in a tank. Then packing in a glass bottle, plastic bags, and paper box. That is packing of milk for the sale. Then cold store and quality of product in laboratory test to the market. Okay. So these all operations which carried out at the bottling plant. Okay, so washing of cans. So due to the after the collection of milk from the farmers, so washing of cans and container which generate the waste. So these are all operations which carried out at the bottling plant in dairy industry. The next, the principal stages of cheese making process. So we already discussed about the cheese making plant. So where the milk is converted into the cheese. Okay, so milk having protein, fats, lactose, and minerals, then convert into the soft curd, then firm curd, then salting, then molding, then pressed curd, and finally you get the ripening and the cheese. Okay, so these are all operations which carried out at the cheese making plant, where the milk which converted into cheese. The next one is the creamery process. Okay, so the pasteurization, then ripening, then churning, then butter granules, then packing the users. So this is the butter making plant. Okay, so this is what the butter making plant after the creamery process. So creamery process, you have to separate the cream from the milk, and the whole milk is preheated to about 30 degrees Celsius. So after that creamery process, the next one is a butter making plant. Okay, so in butter making plant, the first one is cream is pasteurized and may be ripened with the bacterial culture and selected acid. That is, you can see ripening, it is bacterial culture and selected acid, that is lactose acid. Then churning of okay, so produce butter granules. The pasteurized ripen the cream is churned at a temperature about 7 to 10 degrees Celsius, and from that can produce a buttermilk, and finally that convert into the butter granules, and at a proper time the buttermilk is drained out of the churn and the butter is washed and after standardized, okay, and packed for the sale. So packing and finally selling. Okay, so this is the various operations, that is pasteurization, ripening, churning, butter granules, and packing. These all operations which carried out at the butter making plant. Okay. Previously, this was the cheese making plant. These all operations carried out, and these are all operations which carried out at the butter making plant. The next one is dry milk powder plant. That is the dry milk or milk powder. Okay, so here the skim milk. Okay, so skim milk which convert into the milk powder. Okay, so first one is evaporation. So that is a milk powder are produced by evaporation, followed by drying of that milk, then rolling process, then finally powder packing and selling to the users. So these are the dry milk powder plant. The next one is the ice cream plant, where the water, cream, butter, milk, and whey powders, which mixing, then homogenization, then pasteurization, aging, that is flavors, colors, and fruits, then freezing and packing. So these are all operations which carried out at the ice cream plants. This is what the ice cream process. So preheating, then formulation mixing, then pasteurization, aging, then continuous freezing, then these are all operations. Okay, so COD and BOD of milk products. So product and BOD and COD. So whole milk having this BOD fire range. Similarly, COD, skim milk, buttermilk, cream, evaporated milk, whey, and ice cream. Okay, so this composition of wastewater of typical dairy waste. Okay, so with the pH of the waste, which vary from 6.5 to 8, that is normally 7.2. Alkalinity 600 mg per liter as CaCO3. Then TDS, total dissolved solid, is up to 1060 mg per liter. Suspended solid up to 760 mg per liter. BOD up to 1240 mg per liter. COD 1840 mg per liter. Total nitrogen 84 mg per liter. Phosphorus 11.7 mg per liter. Oil and grease 290 mg per liter, and chlorides 105 mg per liter. So these are some uh, characteristics of dairy industry wastewater. So these are some treatment alternatives for the dairy industry waste. Okay, so for screening, then segregation, then equalization, then pH control, then fat removal, then BOD removal, then land irrigation. Okay, that is the utilization of wastewater after the treatment into the irrigation. Okay. So to be used for irrigation after primary treatment, that is dairy waste, screening for removal of larger floating solids, then oil and grease trap for removal of oil and grease, and for irrigation used. Okay, so low cost treatment. So what are the other different low cost treatment we can use for the treatment of dairy waste? The first one is, you can say, the screen chamber. So as we already discussed, next oil and grease trap for removal of oil and grease. Next one is stabilization pond, that is the oxidation pond, which can be used for the treatment of the BOD and COD of waste, that is treatment of dairy waste. So in a stabilization pond, it's same act like a activated sludge process. It is a stabilization pond. It is a biological process. Okay, so it is an aerobic process. So the working is same as like a conventional treatment method, like activated sludge process, where the water is allowed to stable into the excavated trenches or excavated pond, that is called a stabilization pond. And atmospheric air is utilized for the process of oxidation, and that is the oxidation of organic matter which carried out in stabilization pond. Okay, so the working is same as like a conventional treatment method like activated sludge process, and finally effluent, that is the treated wastewater. So this is what the typical flowchart for treating the dairy wastewater. The first one is the bar screen for removal of a larger floating solid. Next, oil and grease traps. The next, equalizer to make less variable quality of water, wastewater. Next one is aeration tank, that is the activated sludge process for the treatment of waste. Next, the secondary settling tank or secondary sedimentation tank, and whatever that sludge which removed from that secondary sedimentation tank, which sludge which can be disposed by sludge drying bed, and some of the sludge is recirculated in aeration tank to maintain the molasses concentration, and effluent that you can recycle for the irrigation purpose. So this is what the flow sheet which is used for the treatment of dairy wastewater. Okay, so first bar clean for removal of a larger floating solid, then oil and grease trap, next equalizer for equalizing the characteristics, next aeration tank for the activated sludge process, then secondary settling tank for removal of sludge. That sludge can be disposed by sludge drying bed, and some of the wastewater which can be recycled into the activated sludge process to maintain MLSS concentration, and finally effluent which can be recycled to the irrigation purpose. Okay, so this is all about the uh, various characteristics of the dairy industry wastewater, and what are the treatment methods which can be used for the treatment of dairy waste, like oxidation pond process, then the oil and grease trap, and the activated sludge process, and the recycling of the effluent for the irrigation process, for the irrigation purpose. Okay, so utilization of or recycling of wastewater maybe creates some problem like a odor problem. So these all should be removed, or odor and all other characteristics should be also removed before the utilization of water for the irrigation and agriculture purpose.